Okay. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties. Alrighty, go to page number 12 in your history books. Sumer. Liviana, can you please stand and start reading about Sumer, which is a civilization of southern Mesopotamia. Go ahead. Ararat? Ararat. There you go. All right.
The mountain we call Mount Ararat today may be the very mountain upon which Noah's Ark came to rest. Directly south lies the Persian Gulf.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead and highlight Mount Ararat, which is the mountain which Noah's Ark came to rest. Okay? Highlight that.
There's some rain and the weather is there is some rain and the weather is cool. In the south,
The land is very flat and dry. Awesome. Continue.
there's little or no rain in the area, and the temperature sometimes reaches as high as 120 degrees to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Yet some of the earliest known civilizations were located in southern Mesopotamia.
Mm-hmm.
A civilization is a country or a people who have been developed to a great extent to the natural abilities that God has given to
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So in northern part of Mesopotamia, where the mountains are high, there is some rain and the weather is cool. Temperatures can actually reach up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit or to 140 degrees. That's hot. Yet some of the earliest known civilizations were located here in southern Mesopotamia. A civilization, so we said, remember, the land on where a country or a nation resides is called the country. Well, the civilization is, class, pay attention. A civilization is a country or a people who have developed to a great extent the natural abilities that God has given to man. All right? Continue reading on the next page. People who make good use of their God-given abilities, such as talking, thinking, reading, writing, inventing, discovering, treating people kindly, enjoying art and music, and worshiping God, are said to be civilized. One of these civilizations was in the land of Sumer, okay? So nowadays we know settlements and we know those things to be called a country, okay? So we said the country is the land where a nation dwells. A civilization in these early days were when people got together and kind of progressed. Remember we said what human progression was? They developed different parts. They used their natural abilities that God had given to them. So they herded sheep, they planted in the ground, they built buildings, they built houses, different stuff like that. This is what a civilization was called in those early days, okay? One of these civilizations was in the land of Sumer, okay? So a civilization is a country or a people who have developed the natural abilities that God has given to them, okay? Let's look at the Sumerians and their work, all right? The people of Sumer were called Sumerians. Go ahead and look down at your pages and your books, okay? Make sure you're following along where we are because I'm going to call on one of you guys to pick up where I left off. The people of Sumer were called Sumerians. They were the descendants of the people who stayed in the area of the Tower of Babel after God confused the languages. So remember we said that's where God confused the languages? And then these people went to Africa, these people went to Asia, these people went to different parts of Europe. That's where God confused the language, but the people that stayed at the Tower of Babel, it's called like the country of Sumer. That's where it was. Yes, Tony?
Did God do that for a reason?
Yes, God did that for a reason. So some of the people that continued to speak the language, so remember we said that everybody was speaking one language? Then all of a sudden, these people were speaking Chinese and these people were speaking French, but then some people still spoke the same language that everyone was speaking, okay? So these are the people that stayed by the Tower of Babel in that area, okay? So one of their cities was Babylon, which was probably named after Babel. The Sumerians and other groups may have lived in caves or crude shelters for a while after the flood until they could build homes. But soon they had a developed way of life, okay? So let's read about their developments. They were an intelligent people who worked tirelessly to find better ways of living. So we found that Babylon is the Sumerian city, probably named after the Tower of Babel. Turn back to page number 13. Do you guys see the city of Babylon on your map, page number 13? That's where Babylon is. This is where the Tower of Babel was. All right, go ahead and turn back. Let's read about farmers. Olive, can you stand and read about farmers?
The main occupation in Sumer was farming. Farmers in Sumer grew wheat, barley, vegetables, dates, and figs. Sumer was located in the southern part of Mesopotamia, where the land was very hot and dry. Irrigation, supplying land with water by means of ditches,
Thank you. So highlight farmers. The main occupation in Sumer was farming. Go ahead and highlight that in your book. The main occupation in Sumer was what? Farming. So a lot of people in Sumer were farmers. All right? Go ahead and look at irrigation. Okay, highlight irrigation. Irrigation is supplying land with water by means of ditches, channels, or sprinklers. Obviously, back then, they did not have our sprinkler system that we had today. They didn't have the pipes that ran underneath ground. But sometimes they would build canals and fill them with water around their fields so that the plant's roots can suck up the water, or they could have cows that would that they could put water jugs on and then water the field with. So this is their form of irrigation. This is their form of watering their plants, okay? So farmers was the main occupation in Sumer. Herdsmen or shepherds. Josiah, can you stand in? Did you already read? You already did read. Let's have Adam. Adam, read herdsmen or shepherds, okay? Go ahead and stand and read loud, please. Caring. Thank you. Highlight some Sumerians were herdsmen or shepherds caring for a large group of animals. So the main occupation was farming. A lot of people had farms then, but some of them also were herdsmen or shepherds. They raised the meat. They raised the goats. They raised the sheep. They raised the cows that was provided for meat, wool, milk. Donkeys were needed to carry heavy loads, and then oxen pulled plows. Yes, Tony? Do we have them? Oh, yes. Some Sumerians were herdsmen or shepherds. Highlight that. Okay? So some Sumerians were farmers. Some Sumerians were herdsmen or shepherds. Others were skilled workers. Okay, let's read together in skilled workers. Many Sumerians were skilled workers. Some made cloth from wool. Some worked at making armor, spears, swords, and chariots for their soldiers. There were some who worked with astronomy, medicine, and law. Others were skilled craftsmen as sculptors, or men who made statues of people and gods that they worshipped. Priests led the people in worship of many false gods. There were metalsmiths who worked with gold, silver, copper, and bronze. And of course, there were soldiers for the army. So there were farmers who provided the crops, herdsmen who provided the meat and the wool, and then the skilled workers are the people who did stuff with the meat or the farming. So they made swords, they made spears, or they made statues, or they worked with gold or silver, or they crafted wool blankets or wool clothes, different stuff like that, okay? Those are skilled workers. All right, so let's look at inventions from Sumer, okay? First is writing. History owes much to the Sumerians, for as far as we know, they were the first people after the flood who developed and used writing. So a lot of those people back then, they didn't know how to read or write. Remember in the Old Testament, they didn't have the Bible to look at. But those who followed God, after the flood, the descendants of Noah were the ones who followed God. Okay? The Sumerians were the first people after the flood who were known to develop and use writing. Okay? At first, their writing looked like more of pictures. So let's say they were writing, and I'm going to talk about, a farmer, I would probably draw a cow and a man. So I would probably draw, I'm not the best drawer. Yes? Not Pictionary, but the kind of pictographs would be like, all right, so I'm talking about cow, okay? So I would be a farmer. I don't even know how to draw a cow. Oops. Okay, these are his arms. Okay, these are his spots. That's the udder. And then here's farmer. Farmer. So this is basically, if I were to draw a cow or a man, I would be talking about a farmer. Or I would be talking about someone who's farming cows, okay? So this is what they kind of did back then. So rather than using words, they used something called the pictograph, okay? Pictograph are pictures of what the writer was trying to represent, okay? So instead of writing a cow farmer, that's what I would write, is a cow and a man. So that's kind of what pictographs are, is pictures of what the writer was trying to represent. That was their early form of writing, okay? Gradually, their writing became wedge-shaped. Highlight that. Actually, highlight pictographs and then highlight gradually their writing became wedge-shaped. Okay? This, yes? Highlight pictographs, which was what the writer was trying to represent rather than using words. But then after the pictographs, their writing became wedge-shaped, which is actually called cuneiform. Okay? Highlight that bold term at the top. Cuneiform was known, or this wedged writing, so wedge-shaped, this form of writing was known as cuneiform. Okay? With a reed or with a sharp instrument, the writer made their marks on a smooth piece of soft clay. If they wanted to keep their writing as a record, they baked the clay until it was hard. So look at that bottom of the page. Cuneiform writing, okay? That is something that they would harden, like a piece of clay, so that they could write on, or whatever they wanted to write would be preserved. Okay, scroll down. Archaeologists, a lot of these people who dig up and study remains of ancient civilizations, these people actually discovered a lot of these forms of cuneiform. Okay, so highlight archaeologists. These are the people who dug up and studied the remains of ancient civilizations. So those who studied Sumer, they dug up cuneiform tablets, and then this is what we kind of read about what we know of Sumer today. This is how we kind of discovered the civilization of Sumer. Yes?
So they have somebody that can read it?
Yes, they had somebody that can read it. So they depicted pictures like that, what they drew, and then eventually cuneiform was their language. So just like you when you were born, so you were born speaking English or Spanish, okay? So you're not really taught that, but because it's what is taught, or what is how the language is and how to write, that's what they were taught when they were born and stuff like that. That's how their writing developed. Yes, Josiah?
So
They created writing. They were the first people who wrote down, who developed and used writing. So like we said, they used pictographs, but then it eventually turned into cuneiform. Did you have a question, Adam? No? Okay. Highlight archaeologists. All right. Then highlight the wheel right there. Make sure you guys know that the people of Sumer invented the wheel. Okay. Another invention credited to the Sumerians was the wheel. They were the first people known to use it. Okay. So obviously we know and we're used to the wheels and everything nowadays because it's so common on cars and different things like that. But these were the very first people to use it. Yes, Tristan?
So then, how would other people be having chariots?
These came even way before the people with chariots. So this was one of the earliest forms, or earliest civilizations, and they invented the wheel, and then eventually people like the Egyptians and stuff like that, the wheel was already invented, so it's just something that they used, okay? Alrighty, so we're gonna do a activity together to depict cuneiform, because remember we said how cuneiform was written in clay. Kind of got something for you guys to write in clay. I got Play-Doh for you guys. What color do you want? Blue. Okay, color? There's only 2 blues, so sorry guys. Purple. If I can get it, there you go. Gavin? Yellow. Landon? Blue. Emmeline?
The turquoise.
Okay. Olive? Nice. Josiah? Oh, sorry. We don't have blue. Green? There you go. What color, Tristan? Okay, Shane? Pink. This pink or this pink? This pink. And then Tony? Or Adam? Sorry. Purple. Cool. All right, so go ahead and take out your Play-Doh. Lay it flat on the ground, or flat on your desk. No, keep your books out. Okay. So in order to depict kind of like a form of cuneiform, we can roll it out. People like this, okay, so what people did back then was pretend that this piece of Play-Doh was a form of clay, okay? These will come out. I know. Same.
I got it out without having my fingers.
He just beat it against the desk. Okay? All right. So what they did, okay? All right, Adam. There you go. Shh, class. All right. So they would flatten a piece of clay. And then you guys maybe could use the end of your pencil or something and then create forms of writing. Okay. So go ahead and do something if you want. Yes, you can keep the Play-Doh. Okay. I'll give Cameron. Shh, class. Okay. So this is cuneiform. Whoops. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten out my Play-Doh, and I'm going to draw something in it, and I want you guys to guess what you guys might think it is. Pictionary with Play-Doh. There you go. You can draw something like, or like create shapes and pictures, or a okay. Okay.
No, turn it around and then it'll be all flat. Because it's on the.
If it's already out, you don't have to be against your desk.
I know Gavin's just doing that so you can get it flat.
Just take it into a ball.
Where's your donut?
Okay.
You should put the rest in the pie. You see? A ball.
Okay.
We should bring more Play-Doh and then mix it and then put it somewhere so it can cook. Bake it. So it gets hard.
All right. I'm done. I drew something.
What did you draw?
What do you guys think it is?
I can't see it. Oh, a woman. Oh wait, you were Mr. Coral.
Yes.
Oh, Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve.
Yes.
I drew me and my husband.
I'm gonna make her.
She says hi. See? Tristan, you see my drawing? So that's just kind of something for you guys to take home. All right. Make sure you guys look up at the board really quick. Make sure you guys know that your quiz 2 is on Tuesday. It's over page 11 to 16 and the geography facts on the back, okay?
We never did this last year. This is fun.
We only ate last year.
Okay?
Not that we're on track for things.
Okay, class, listen up. Everybody pull out your homework sheets real quick. Stop what you're doing. Pull out your homework sheet. Make sure you write this quiz down.
I'll write it
All right?
on my
In
Play-Doh.
today's,
I
I wish you can write it in your Play-Doh, but make sure you guys know that quiz 2 is on Tuesday. So we will review on Monday, but I want you guys to write this down in your homework sheet or on a piece of paper, okay? Make sure you guys know that. Don't write it on your Play-Doh, okay? Put it on a piece of paper, Tony. Tony, put it on a piece of paper. Right here. Quiz 2 on Tuesday, okay? Quiz 2 on Tuesday. Yeah. You already wrote this down on paper, though? Quiz 2 on Tuesday, page 11 to 16.
We have this is only for this week.
Right, but make sure for your guys' homework that you study tonight, okay? Who erased my Friday? But anyway. All right. Shh. Okay. Quiz 2 on Tuesday. Over pages 11 to 16. And page 327 to 28. That's your map. Okay? Huh? Well, in your prize. Okay, class. Go ahead and put your history books away. We'll be done with that today. You can keep your Play-Doh out, but put your history books away.
Look it, I made a mouse. Cora, look.
Okay, class. And then make sure for tonight for reading, one more. For reading, you guys need to do skill sheet 4. Or did you guys already do skill sheet 3? I don't think you did. Let me see.
Yeah, we did like 2 skill sheets.
You did. So you should do skill sheet 3. Okay? No, you didn't. I have skill sheet 3.
Oh, I thought it was for.
Okay, skill sheet 3. Okay, skill sheet 3, you just need to study for your quiz on Tuesday, and then your skill sheet 3 is for reading, okay? Make sure you guys do this and bring it back to me on Monday.
Oh, today's Friday? Yes, we get to have a weekend off. No, it wasn't. It was fast. History. It was like fast.
It's on the board, Emmeline.
It's hard for me to see without my glasses.
Okay, well make sure you bring your glasses, okay? Oops. Okay, for homework and reading is skill sheet 3.
I'll make a